This wheel had one job: pick my weapon. It landed on a machine gun and gave me a pistol. I had less than 48 hours to finish a Game Jam game, and the main feature was already lying to me. Somehow, that wasn't even the worst part. The theme was spin to win. So I made a wave shooter where this wheel gives you a random weapon every round. Great idea, but terrible deadline. Before I could add enemies, weapons, or a giant wheel of suffering, I needed a player and somewhere for him to stand. I built a small arena, added movement, and hit play. Absolutely nothing happened. The player just stood there, silently judging every decision that brought me to this moment. After staring at my code for longer than I'd like to admit, I fixed it, only to discover he was running backwards. Full moonwalk, completely unprompted. This became a Michael Jackson simulator. Once movement finally worked, I gave him a gun. The gun pointed towards the mouse, but the bullets spawned behind it. So technically, my first weapon worked perfectly, as long as the goal was shooting itself in the back. A few fixes later, I could finally move, aim, and fire without attacking myself. Then I added my first enemy and programmed it to chase the player. It followed me perfectly, but couldn't actually deal damage. Then I added health, damage, and collisions, and suddenly the game stopped being a walking simulator and started becoming an actual game. Next, I needed enemies to appear automatically instead of placing every single one by hand. So I built a wave spawner, hit play, and watched enemies pour into the arena. They immediately surrounded me and killed me. I'd never been more proud of something that murdered me. At this point, I looked at my weapon graphics and realized my bullets were literally grenade sprites. Not exactly the flamethrower I imagined. So I rebuilt the visuals, created a pistol, shotgun, machine gun, shuriken, and flamethrower. Each weapon behaved differently. The pistol was weak, the shotgun was devastating, the machine gun became my personal favorite, and the shuriken was probably the only balanced one. Then I connected everything to the random weapon system. Simple in theory, but in reality, I somehow equipped 2 guns at once. Both worked, both fired, both dealt damage. My character had become a dual-wielding maniac. Then the scaling broke, and my pistol became almost as large as the player. That's not a sidearm, that's a skyscraper with a trigger. Then I built the feature the entire game depended on: the wheel. I designed each section, added the weapon labels, and wrote the spinning logic. Visually, it looked perfect. It spun, it slowed down, it landed directly on a weapon, and then it gave me something completely different. It landed on a machine gun and gave me a pistol. Every result was wrong. It wasn't even random anymore, it was personal. I checked the rotation, the spin speed, the weapon's ID, the labels, everything. The entire game depended on this feature, and the feature was lying directly to my face. After hours of debugging, I finally found the problem: a math error in how the wheel sections matched the weapon array. I corrected the calculation and tested it again. Gun landed, gun equipped. I spun again, still correct. One more time, because I no longer trusted anything. The wheel finally worked. Then I looked at the clock. 7 in the morning. I had spent the entire night fighting one spinning circle, and fewer than 15 hours remained before submission closed. At this point, I was feeling very exhausted. The game was unfinished, and the deadline was getting dangerously close. So I did the only responsible thing. I hit the sack. Then I woke up and felt very lazy. Fast forward a few hours, and now it's 7 PM. But I still needed to make the game genuinely challenging. So I added bats, ghosts, goblins, zombies, plus a slime king and a demon boss. Then I rewrote the wave spawner so stronger enemies unlocked as the rounds increased. Bats appear first, followed by ghosts, goblins, and zombies. Bosses arrived every 5 rounds, and later, waves started throwing multiple bosses onto the screen. Then I finally played a complete run. The weapons worked, enemies filled the arena, the wheel spun, and miraculously gave me the correct gun. For the first time, everything was working together. There was just one problem: the bosses were way too easy. So I added 3 king slimes to round 10 and 2 demons to round 20. Now I couldn't even beat my own game, which meant the difficulty was perfect. Remember the demon, he becomes a problem later. Then I added a dash ability to make movement more interesting. It felt great until I discovered it completely ignored walls. My character could face directly through solid objects and escape into the gray void outside the map. Apparently, teleporting the player's position also teleports collision entirely. Programming makes perfect sense, right? I didn't have time to fix it properly, so I did what every responsible developer does near a deadline. I tried not to think about it. Then I checked the timer. Less than 3 hours remained. So naturally, instead of panicking, I built the entire main menu system. Start button, control screen, windscreen, everything wired together, because nothing says I'm about to miss a deadline like adding an optional UI. It wasn't necessary, but it looked nice, and apparently that was enough to convince me. Finally, the game jam was ready. All I had to do was upload it. I opened the submissions page, added the game, and clicked submit, and connection timed out. I tried again, same error. I refreshed the page and tried one more time, nothing. The timer reached 0. After spending so long on this game jam, I couldn't even submit it, and honestly, that was painful. But on the bright side, missing the deadline also meant I no longer had a deadline. So I finished the final version I actually wanted. I added sound effects, fixed the wall phasing dash, improved the balance, and gave each weapon a unique ability. The pistol could boost your speed, the shotgun increased your health, and the shuriken started dropping grenades every few seconds, because apparently those grenade sprites refused to leave the project. Then I published the game on itch.io, link in the description, check it out. As for subscribing, I spun the wheel, and apparently you have to. The wheel lies constantly, but not this time.